Gin-soaked barroom queen in Memphis. She tried to take me upstairs for a ride.
This song is in open G tuning. In open G, all 6 strings are tuned to one of the 3 component notes of a G major triad. Those notes are G, B, and D. In standard tuning, those are the pitches of the 3rd, 2nd, and 4th strings, so they'll remain the same in open G. Both the 6th and 1st strings are tuned down a whole step from E to D. You can match that to the open 4th string, which is D. So the 1st string goes down a whole step, an octave above the open 4th string. The 6th string also goes down a whole step from E to D, but now it's an octave lower than the open 4th string. And the 5th string, which is normally tuned to A, goes down a whole step to G, which is an octave lower than the open 3rd string. When all 6 strings are played, you should get a lovely G major chord. Barring the index finger at any fret will produce another major chord with the root note located on the 5th string. Remember, the 5th string is tuned down a whole step from standard tuning. So barring at the 5th fret, normally the 5th fret of the 5th string is a D note, but now that it's a whole step lower, it's actually a C. So barring at the 5th fret produces a C major chord. This applies to any position on the fingerboard. So an open chord is a G chord, because it's an open G on the 5th string. The 5th fret would be a C chord. If you go up to the 9th fret, that would be an E chord. That's open G tuning. Enjoy. Keith Richards had been exploring open tunings such as open E and open D with the Rolling Stones for a couple of years when in 1969 a pivotal moment occurred as guitarist Ry Cooder introduced him to open G tuning. The proverbial light went on in Keith's head, and open G has been at the core of just about every classic Rolling Stones riff created since then. Think of Brown Sugar. Can't You Hear Me Knockin'? Tumblin' Dice, and Start Me Up. Etc. But Honky Tonk Women is the granddaddy of them all. After 2 bars of cowbell and drums, the first guitar enters with the simplest pattern of double bar stops plucked on the open 3rd and 4th strings, followed by a pedal steel style lick with a pedal tone of the open 1st string against sliding notes on the 3rd string. Open 3rd and 4th strings. Many players use string bends on the 3rd string of this lick, but live performance videos of Keith through the decades show he consistently slides, not bends. Each chord in this song is defined by those basic either open or bar forms with suspended embellishments by adding fingers onto the 2nd and 4th strings. For instance, on the open G chord, if you add your index finger on the 2nd string 1st fret and your 2nd finger onto the 2nd fret of the 4th string, you can either call that a C chord with a G bass or a G chord with a sus4 and an added 6. Same thing with the bar chords. Here's your C chord at the 5th fret by adding a note a fret higher on the 2nd string and 2 frets higher on the 4th string. Mix those simple ingredients and you've got instant stones. The verse begins in measure 9 of your transcription, coming out of the intro with that open third and first strings. 1, 2, ready, play. So, note in the tab in measures 11 and 15, Keith pulls off from the suspensions to reveal the respective C and D chords beneath. So you barred at the 5th fret for the C, and he pulls off the 2nd and 3rd fingers to reveal the chord underneath. So he starts on the suspension and then resolves. Same thing on the D chord in measure 15. And also, note that couple of well-placed harmonics in measure 22, just before Keith begins the pumping rhythm figure that propels the chorus. The chorus begins at measure 25 of your transcription, but a pumping rhythm is introduced beginning 2 measures prior. In measure 23 on the open G chord, starting on the open 2nd and 3rd strings, then the 5th string, and then on alternate beats, add the suspension 1 fret higher on the 2nd string. Chorus begins on G, up to D, 7th fret. Now, the next G is up at the 12th fret. Again with the suspension. Back to open G, 7th fret D. Then a variation on that pedal steel style lick from the intro. So again, starts on the G, beginning of the chorus, measure 25. 1, 2, ready, play. D, G, up at the octave. Open G, D, pedal steel. Keith Richards played both of the guitar parts in the studio on Honky Tonk Women. There's a 2-bar country-style lead fill, first introduced in measure 23, that recurs frequently throughout the track. Remember, we're still in open G, and it would probably be a good idea to use a pick on these parts. So the lick that comes in at measure 23 in your transcription, 14th fret, 3rd string, bend up a whole step, hold the bend, with the little finger catch the 14th fret of the 1st string. Hold the bend now, rearticulate the 3rd string and relax the bend. Then, using your 1st finger, play the 12th fret of the 1st string. And then bend the 14th fret of the 3rd again, relax, and the 12th fret G note for the end. Keith then adds a quintessential country blues style ending lick at measure 43 that brings the song to a suitable conclusion. Beginning on the 1st string, 15th fret, bend up a whole step, then release the bend. Then 14th fret of the 3rd string, bend up a whole step, hold the bend, relax. Then the 14th fret of the 4th string, the E note, and then slide down from the 16th fret of the 5th string to the 14th fret, and you're ending on the 12th fret of the 5th string, which, because it's tuned down a whole step, is now a G note. That's your tonic. So that's it. Let's do the whole song now.
Gin-soaked barroom queen in Memphis. She tried to take me upstairs for a ride. She had to heave me right across her shoulder, 'cause I just can't seem to drink you off my mind. It's a honky tonk world. Give me the honky tonk blues. I later divorcee in New York City. I had to put up some kind of a fight. The lady, then she covered me